Alright then mate, here to help you. Just keep looking forward for me, don't take your eyes off the front of the windscreen there. So what I'd normally do is carry out a primary survey right now, so making sure the vehicle is safe, make sure the handbrake's on, so the keys are out of the ignition and they're placed in a safe location, okay, keeping us, them, anybody else safe as possible. Also consider any other traffic and stuff that might be around. So, I'm going to continue with my primary survey, so I'll test the level of response, okay, so I can see that he's got his eyes open and he's responding to me. So I'm going to check for any signs of catastrophic bleeding. Has he got any pain anywhere at the moment? So look right down into the footwells, look at his extremities and see if he's got any signs of catastrophic bleeding and deal with that. He's spoken to me, so I know his airways to be clear, okay, I'm going to assess his breathing, alright. Also go for a circulatory check, so check his radial pulse to make sure he's circulating good volume. And then what we look to do is we're going to go through some sort of immobilisation. The purpose of this small video is just to go through the application of a C-spine collar. So the idea would be that we'd not like to get someone in the back of the vehicle, maybe just to support the casualty's head, offer the level of reassurance and just maintain neutral alignment. Okay. Subsequent to that then, what we're going to do is we're going to apply our C-spine collar. Now the collar itself will sit directly onto skin, so the most important aspect then is to get a good level of clearance around the neck, just to ensure the collar is going to sit directly onto the skin and offer the best level of support. It's been said before, we should say it again, that the collar is an adjunct to this overall aim. It's not definitive, so somebody should always be holding on to Ollie's head. So I'm just going to undo the jacket. Obviously I can inspect the chest as well for any kind of damage and stuff as well, and any buttons and stuff as well. Alright, if he's got a seatbelt on, okay, I'd consider removing that at this point, just because it's across the chest, it makes things a little bit more difficult. Okay, obviously if he hasn't got a seatbelt on, that would then indicate potentially more further injury. Alright, so I'm going to get my C-spine collar out of the bag. Okay, so I'm going to use a C-spine collar. This is a stiff neck select collar. Probably one of the most common collars that we'll see out on the pre-hospital kind of setting world, if you like. Really easily applied. Key functions, we need to ensure that it is actually sized correctly and again placed directly upon skin. So we've got a very simple crude measuring system that we use for this. Because it's a multi-select, we need to select the right size for him before we actually apply it to him. So what we're going to do first and foremost is I'm just going to make sure I can access, okay, the shoulder muscle just where it meets the neck, just on the side of Ollie's face, just here. And I'm going to measure the amount of fingers that it requires me to get from the top of his shoulder muscle to line up with his jaw. Okay, so I can see right now that Ollie has it's a measurement of 3 fingers. What I do with my collar then is I place my 3 fingers at the base of the plastic there and then raise them up. As you can see, it's already selected onto the regular setting. If I did need to adjust them, then all I would do is just pop out these small locks, free up the collar's movement, okay, which will then allow me to reselect any other size, just ensuring that the collar gets locked back in place. Okay. Obviously the collar in the main is stored flat, so it's actually quite important just to conform the collar, make it round prior to applying it. It just makes it sit on something that's round a lot easier. So we conform it, round it all up, okay, and then what I'm going to do, as I've said before, is I'm going to place the collar onto his skin. Now ideally what I want to be doing is just coming behind the head. Okay, so we're going to go onto skin, and the Velcro just fixes around like so. Try and avoid, if possible, asking the casualty questions that have got a yes or a no answer, and that's primarily because they will nod and shake their head accordingly. Reassure the casualty that, to be honest, the collar isn't there for comfort, it's not there to make them feel happy, it's there to do a job, it's there to support the immobilisation of the C-spine neck and minimise the chances or impact of injury. So it may feel uncomfortable, but that's just the way that the collar is designed to do that job.